short validated. CL July Iceberg sell CL 169 contracts.
Hi, good morning. You guys hear me? In YouTube land. Bueller. Bueller. Oh, thank you, Gary. All right, I'll be back in a minute after the disclosure stuff.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites are digital venues for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will capture net losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in both Stops and Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers regardless of doc reservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made with any accountable or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading report can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses on material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in preparation of hypothetical performance results at all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
This trading room and this webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or just trade recommendations. Analysis of share trades and potential trades may take myself based on my personal analysis. The goal of this room is to teach traders how to identify specific trades, trades, and themselves without making decisions. Trading is extremely risky and you decide on my personal trades, you sort of risk and potentially lose your entire company anymore. I'm not responsible and I have 14 trading accounts. The spreadsheet that I access to is my personal spreadsheet that I use at zone values and ATR values and I'm doing exact prices for my trades. You can see when I add zone pricing to the master spreadsheet as well as prices that I trade, whether you go long or short. You have the ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter your own values and use mine to confirm zone pricing to vary the zone spread yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction trades, it has entry prices and stop prices for long and short positions depending on which you person decide to trade.
All right, good morning. World may be ending. Stocks are actually selling off slightly, so take cover. This is NASDAQ. This last event was bullish. The stop run. Let's see what we got here. Algo guy is bearish right now, so this is my. So I have different strategies that I'm trading. I'm looking for, the strategies are looking for volume events in important areas. So, two of my strategies, Barks and Lick, are not really important areas as far as things I use. They're just basically the volume events that fire off. So they're obviously very, they come in nonstop. So that's this trade here and this trade here. So I use, since it's not an important area per se on the chart, so on and so forth, we'll go over these other strategies. I use the Algo Guy to filter. So if the Algo Guy is bearish, this is an exponential moving average, call it Algo Guy. If the blue is below the red, then it's a bearish. That's a bearish market, short term, obviously. And then if the blue is above the red, it's bullish. So I use that filter to decide if I'm going to take Barks and Licks or not. So this last event is a bullish event. So the other thing that I use to determine what the event is, whether it's bullish or bearish, is if the market can push an ATR out of the zone. So from watching millions of these things over the last 7 years, that is the best way that I've determined to figure out if these are bullish or bearish. So this is a bullish event, but I can't take the Bark or Lick there because of the Algo Guy is not in my favor. There's other areas that I'm watching here. This isn't quite down in this Izzy zone that I drew here. So these are inflection zones that I draw. The four important areas of charting, tops and bottoms of balance areas, directional conviction, buying and selling tails, and high volume nodes of balance areas. So that's what these zones are. You don't really need to even know what they are, as far as, you know, you just know, you need to know they're important. So I have subscriptions to this. You get this all free in my trade room, as well as the spreadsheet. I'll go over all this stuff throughout the webinar. But anyway, it's not quite in this zone. I wouldn't take a Izzy long here. So there's really nothing for me to do off this event in NASDAQ, is what I'm saying. So there's other stuff firing off here. I am short gold. It's been kind of a torture, but now the thing's getting smoked, which I was expecting as far as my thesis, and the thesis lined up. So I got a thesis in the direction, I'm sorry, I got a volume event in the direction of my thesis, so I traded a bigger size on this trade. We'll go over it. It was earlier. A lot of my room members were in this trade as well. But as far as the thesis, this was balance over a few days. It broke out of balance, built balance, and failed. So this should have, you know, because of this should have ripped off the page. And there was a couple other things here. So, you know, everything's fractal. So you had this balance here, you had this balance here, and then it literally, we opened up down here through the high volume nodes of basically both of these. So my overall thesis was that it was going to get killed. Then it did one of these and right into the Izzy zone. We just talked about that. I got the volume event, which was this, aka an important area, one of my important areas. That was way up here. So I took this short here and got tortured for a while. There were two events here, but I took, you know, I didn't even combine these because I was bearish, right? So I was willing to trade the independent one there, individual one, I should say. And then, you know, kept torturing, kept bouncing off this stop run from the number, and then finally gave it up. So I've been short, still short. I got out of some as this moved down. We can cover that. But and then the way I trail my stops is this new event fired off. And my stop was way up here above this guy, and I moved it down to there. Did not get stopped out, still in the trade. So now I'm looking for important areas to get out of, you know, piece out of this trade, because I want to pay myself as the market makes money availably. And this is a very nice trade so far. This is actually an area I should be getting out if this starts to stutter here. This is the bottom of this market profile composite. So on the way down, I got out of a little bit here, which was confluent with yellow lug. I got out of more here, point of control, which was confluent with VWAP and baby lug, it looks like. I didn't even see that. And now I'm going to, if this struggles here, I'm going to get out of some more. Right? There's stuff in crude too. Crude is in a very, very important area on what happens. We'll get to that here in a second. I'm going to watch this as best I can. See, this is the issue when I'm on these webinars. I like to try to judge if it's going to break through that certain areas, like we're looking at that market profile composite. Actually, I need the tick strike here. So I use certain things to determine if the selling is great enough to push through these areas where I don't have to get out, right? I don't need to get out if there's no one buying. Why do I need to buy? But, you know, right when I say it, of course, here comes some buyers. Hold on a second. Why is this not? All right. So I'm just going to get out of a few more here. Two more. Hold on. I got two there, and I'm going to get out of another 15 of these. One of these accounts I fired on, which was good with the Apex stuff. We'll go over that too. All right. So I still have part of a position on. Now I'm going for the home run for the rest of this trade. Meaning, now I'm holding it. I've gotten out as it's moved in my favor. Now I'm holding it for the final destination, which is usually the major lug. So now I don't care what area we hit, because I've pieced out as this come down. Now it's a blue lug or bust, meaning a volume event that turns bullish. So hopefully this will go to zero and it's free gold for everybody. So that's that trade. I can still put on trades off of this newest event too. So I could put on barks and licks off of this event, and a pick actually, because this event. So we just looked at that. So a pick. These are all acronyms for my trading strategies, right? So bark and lick. It's any event that does an ATR retest confirm. That's it. That's why I was saying it's not specifically in an important area. It is an important area because of the volume, but not something on the chart, right? So any event that hits the ATR retest confirm, I'll take the bark and the leg as long as algo guy's in my direction, which it is. All right, and then the other trading strategy I can take here is a pick, profiles and courage. Take any trade that moves in or out of a market profile composite. We just looked at it, right? So if that were to come back here, so this event is up here, right? Which is a little bit inside this guy here. Here's the event. But if it does this, comes back, then comes back out, I'm going to take that short as well. So there's additional shorts I can put on off of this event depending on what happens here. So we're waiting for a retest confirm, and then I'll make decisions. Other than that, I'm still short, and if it gets killed from here and never retests, at least I have something on. All right, so that's that. I was waiting for a retest here in Russell. So, Russell, these other markets are ridiculously, bullish. I say ridiculously because my opinion of it just never makes any sense of why these things just continue to go straight up like nothing's wrong on the planet. So, these look so bullish. You see that? Here's a yes. Bullish. I mean, it's about to break out of this balance, which will be glorious. But you look at Russell, it looks nothing like that. Russell looks actually very bearish. And what happened overnight or into today is even more bearish. That's a balance area. Whopper, multi-week. That's a balance area. So yesterday, broke through out of this balance area. This was a multi-day. Broke through the high volume node of that balance area. Straight through it, gap through it. This thing should have ripped off the page. So some of the best trades in trading are when things should happen based on, basic structure. That did not. This is coming back. This is looking like bye-bye for Russell, right? And, if Russell's getting smoked, these other markets are going to give it up a little bit. I know they're different stocks, they're different composites that comprise the indices, but the other markets are probably not going to be able to sustain at highs if this and like the Dow, I didn't even look at the Dow today, are getting killed. Let's take a look at the Dow. This looks completely different than ES and NQ2, right? Like the same thing here. Both these, there's no way that we're going to sustain highs if these things are getting, Russell and Dow are getting killed, and NASDAQ and ES will probably give it up, very likely. So what does that mean? Not a lot. I mean, I'm a day trader. I'm trading intraday, but again, my thesis is, especially in these markets, bearish. So that means if I get volume events that are bearish, I will trade double size. So speaking of that, I was waiting and I'm still waiting. It still may happen. This was the last event in Russell. You had a stop run. This is called a stop and hold, where you get a stop run and it actually holds. Most times stop runs are retail traders. It's still important information, but they usually reject. It's telling you something. If you get a stop run and it holds, it means the big money's coming in behind them, right? So anyway, if this does this, I'm going to short that. At least I don't think this was not an Izzy at the time. It moved through the Izzy zone. So if it comes back now, because the volume event is in here, if it comes back, then I'll take an Izzy short. This is a variation of Izzy. Usually the Izzy's are fade moves, but if it comes back in there, that's still a fade move. It's just a different variation. So that's some ways away. Actually, we got a new event here anyway, so that is all off the table, what I was just saying, because I always default to the most recent event. So we got this. Let's see where we're at here, and we got something in NASDAQ. So I have nothing here as far as my important areas on the in my inflection zone, so there's no potential long there. So I should already know all this. This is what you need to know before you get into your trading day, where all the areas are, if-then scenarios. So when stuff starts firing off like it is in all these different markets, you're not scrambling to figure out where the hell you're at, or where the hell the market is, I should say. This is not up to date here. Let's see what we got. Yeah. So I got to get this. So this is what I do to get these composites. These blue zones are daily value areas merged, which are very powerful, right? So you have that. I would actually merge, so this one was outside this one, but then this one was back inside this one, so I would merge all three of these. Let's just see what this looks like. I'm going to be able to delete some of these zones too. You can see we're right at the bottom. Looks like we're right at the bottom of this guy now, right? So I'm going to cut this one off. When the market trades up and through it a bunch of times, I want to see if the market's still respecting it, but I don't even need these here because I got this guy here. I mean, I can potentially keep this one, but I'm going to draw this like this. All right, we're way down here too, so I don't know why this is the time off on this. I don't know why it's not drawing a bar here. It's got to be the time. Hold on. I just don't know why this stuff changes on me. Yeah, that's why. So see how it's showing 7:30 because it didn't change. It's not 7:30 my time yet, so this is supposed to be 6:30. Fun. Hopefully I don't lose all my composites. So anyway, I'll come back to that. We got more stuff in NASDAQ. I just wanted to see what areas we're in for potential trades. We'll come back to that here in a second. We got some stop run done. So now this is an Izzy zone in NASDAQ. Right, we're into this zone. You got this buying tail from yesterday. This change. See, this chart changed. This is not right. It's just crappy think or swim as usual. So if you're in my trade room, I wouldn't. That's not the Izzy zone because this changed from what it looked like when I originally drew it. So the way I would draw this is this tail here with these tails here, which is the top of this little balance area. So it is still the Izzy zone. So I could take a long here if this. So this is the greatest thing about. So first of all, the volume events, the SI events, are the most powerful thing that I've ever seen in my trading career. Right? I actually had a webinar with the trading firm that is backing our reversion trade. We'll get into that, but you know, a lot of none of their traders are using Bookmap, and I'm just like, guys, it's the most important information I've ever seen in my trading career, right? So the point is, if you're profitable, great. You're not getting all the information. If you're already profitable and then you know this information that we're looking at, you're going to be profitable times 10 or more would be my guess. So anyway, here's an event. If it holds, so what I was getting at is, yes, this is an important area, but I just don't buy blindly just because we're in an important area, right? If this is all you have, right? If you don't have Bookmap, then yeah, you're like, yeah, this is a support zone. I'm going to buy it. Well, yeah, I'll buy it, but I need to see this become bullish, and then I'll buy it, right? So that's the difference, because this is the most important stuff, because this is real-time volume, things that are happening right now. I'm not just buying a blind thing in the past, hoping it holds, right? I'm putting the odds greatly in my favor by having an area that's important and then getting it confirmed with a volume event, right? So if that holds, I can go long up here. We'll get into that here in a second because I might have to get out of that prior zone with my entry. Other than that, algo guy is bearish. Yes, I said it. Algo guy is bearish. It doesn't happen very often lately. So I can, on the short side, I can take barks and licks off of this event as well. Right? So meaning if this proves bearish, we already covered this, if this gets to the ATR, which is the blue line, that's the current ATR. So this is the zone drawer. We'll get into that. I'm going to post this here in a second. You guys can get access to all this stuff. If it hits this is a bearish event, does that, then I'm going to go short. Bark and lick. I'm assuming there's some lick down here. Let's take a look. Yes, so you see this liquidity down here. That would be my ultimate target for the lick trade. So we'll see how this develops. So I'm not doing anything yet. I have to see how what this turns into, whether it's bullish or bearish. I'll put an order in to buy here in a second. You can see my the other great thing here with the zone drawing tool is you can set it up with Telegram and it sends these events to your phone. Like if you got to leave and something, say you got to trade on, because I'm always trailing my stops to the most recent event, it'll let me know and I can log into my computer and set up the stops, so on and so forth. So let me post this. So this is the zone drawing tool. You can watch these YouTube videos and how it works. You can get into the Bookmap marketplace. And then we'll get through the rest of the stuff as we have the webinar. Let me post this in the YouTube channel. And if you guys got questions, throw them in the YouTube, because that's the only place I really see them. Alright, that should come through for you guys. Alright, let's see what else fired off. So I'm watching a ton of products, right? I'm watching like 20 futures markets. So I hear stuff, but I don't hear it. So if you're going to hear it, just come over here, file alerts, and then you can see what's firing off too, just see what you missed. nat gas, gold. Here's a retest. Hopefully the trading firm algo that we have caught this one. There you go. Got one ATR. Came back. We haven't covered this yet, but that's the ATR trade. Remember, I got out of some down here too. So if this comes up and stops me out for the rest, then so be it. But I'm out of most of my trade there. All right. So you see right there, Bookmap Bob. Let me know. This is the great thing about the drawing tool too. It let me know the short. This what we were just saying. We're waiting to see what this is. So this is a short. It got the ATR. Now if this goes retest confirm, which is very likely, I will put on shorts. Does it mean it has to? No. There are times that it just keeps going. I have, we have some aggressive entry trades too. We're not waiting for the retest, but in this case, I'm definitely waiting for the retest confirmed. There's nothing else to really get short here off from my trading strategies. If you got an area that you want to be aggressively short here, perfectly fine. Use that. This would be your entry. This line, you listening, Madam Shizzle? It's this line. The entry is the same as the stop, the yellow line. And then your stop will go up here, and I'd move it out of this event as well. But we'll get into that. If it comes back, I will put on shorts in NASDAQ, and I will put on shorts in Russell. So waiting for that. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Take that back. You got new events here in Russell, but I can short off of this. So you had sell stops, sell ice, sell ice. So this is one of the 6 distinct setups that I trade. This one's called Step Bros. Right? So when you get sell stops with sell ice, here we got a new event in NQ. This is technically a very bearish setup, right? So it doesn't mean I just jump in a short, but this should get smoked. If it doesn't, it's telling you something too. So I'm going to combine these zones here as a Step Bro zone. Just going to delete that one. And do this. So that's the current zone, Step Bros. So what I'm referring to here is this is my trade, this is my course, it's in that document. So I have 6 distinct setups that I look for. Dumb and Dumber, Stop and Hold Titanium. We'll get into these as they appear. This is Step Bros. Stop run with ice in the same direction, right? So stop runs are the dumb money puke, but then you have the ice, the big money in the same direction. Very powerful setup, right? So I look for these events at important areas, right? So step 1 is identifying the event. Step 2 is what important areas from my important areas, where are we at? We're still not anywhere on the inflection zone chart. Hopefully this populated where I can see the market profile. This is what I was trying to do earlier. Let's see. This is a pick trade, potentially, right? This is a prior market profile composite. Here's your volume event right here. So if this holds, I could go long. If it breaks, I can go short pick, right? If it does one of these, I can actually short pick here aggressively because it's just breaking out. So you can either wait for the retest or be aggressive. I'll be aggressive. Why? Because didn't we just talk about how I'm bearish this market? Right, so I'm not going to wait for a retest for this particular strategy because it may not retest. It may just keep going, right? Very likely it retests, but it may not. But now that I look at this, I'm going to wait for a retest. I know I said I was bearish, but I didn't realize, see, we're into this guy, right? So there's a very, very good likelihood this bounces off here. If this goes right through this, well, it's telling you something. I may miss this trade, but then the trades that follow, I'm going to fire on. Anyway, I'm not going to take this trade aggressively, this pick. I'll still take bark, lick, and pick, but I'm going to wait for this pattern. Hits the ATR, retest, confirm, then I'm going to go short. This tells me the position sizing based on my risk capital. If these are the Apex accounts, we're getting to those. I'm risking 10% on these trades. You do not want to, if you're trading your own money, you're trying to support yourself with, you do not want to be trading 10% on trades. 2% max. And a 6% max loss for the day, right? I'm more aggressive with these Apex because I have them tied to these accounts, and if I blow out an account, big deal. I have 3 of them live. There's another 4 that are almost live. I'm still trading 10%, but you're trading. That's my choice. But I'm telling you, if you're trading your own money, you better not be risking 10% on trades because you're going to have a bad day. You will have a bad day, and you will blow out your account. I promise. Anyway, we do this. I'm going short. It tells me my position size. this is the zone drawer. So the zone drawer is the exact same thing as this spreadsheet that I've used forever. But now we have the developer in my room, he's a trader in my trade room, Johan, he developed this zone drawing tool, which has been an absolute godsend. So instead of having to draw these things manually, it picks up the subchart and draws a zone for you, and then puts all the values on the spreadsheet. It's incredible. So that's what this is that I showed you guys in the beginning. That's this thing, right? If you go to the Bookmap Marketplace, right there, right? And if you get it, right now you get the Pro. We're doing a beta on the Pro. It's almost ready. And that's where you get all these different lines and the reversion trades. We'll get into that stuff, but it's an incredible tool, and it makes life much, much easier. You can draw the zones by hand. Again, I did it for about 7 years. So, but it makes it a lot easier. All right, what's the number here? Oh, that's natural gas. All right. All right, so just waiting to see what this setup. I don't know whether this is bullish or bearish yet. If it turns out bullish, I could take it long. We'll keep an eye on that. It's not going to happen right away, so I'll keep an eye on that. Remember, we just talked about the pick. If it turns out bearish, I can take bark, lick, and pick shorts. This event is, I'm probably missing a trade right here. This was an IZZY zone, I believe. Still in the IZZY zone, so I should be long here. But what? So you can see my entry here is the yellow line, right? So my entry is an ATR plus 10%. I should be getting long right here. I am not getting long in a prior volume event. So I will get long IZZY here, but I'm getting long. I'm going to go outside that. So I'm going to go 1587. This is my size. So the sizing all changes dependent on the ATR and the zone size. So I better hurry up here. Hold on. Let me get this trade in. Hold on, NASDAQ. They were just itching to buy it. They were itching to buy every single down move, aka the bungee jump. Right here. All right, so I'm long IZZY, right? Of course, I got fell right to the tick. I probably should have done a couple more ticks out of there. But anyway, long that. Let's see if there's anything else I can be long. See if there's a market profile here. And I didn't want to be long. I wanted to be short, but the market really doesn't care what I want. Nor do I. This is a single day, so it did bounce off this market profile composite. Single day, but I don't trade single days. I just trade merge days, the composites. Very powerful. The single days are powerful too. The market respects them sometimes, but they're not anywhere near as powerful as days merged. Anyway, that bounced right off of there. That was that. Baby Ludwig level. We'll get into those too. Second most powerful thing I've ever seen in my life of trading. So anyway, I'm long. There's nothing else to do here on the long side. So IZZY trades, I'm willing to take longs even if Algo Guy is against me. So right now, Algo Guy is bearish, right? So this is probably going to struggle to rip right through this red exponential moving average. I'll probably be tortured on it, but the IZZY zones are more powerful in my opinion. So I'm long. Filled to the damn tick as usual. Literally the exact tick here. I moved it out of the zone and I still filled to the tick. But that's trading. Stop. Everything's in here. So my stop goes the other side of the zone all the way down here. And I could just hear people rumbling. When I put on trades, I like to risk 10. In NASDAQ, I want to risk 10 points to make 20. I don't impose what I want to lose in my trades. I force the markets to I respect what's going on in the markets for my stops, right? So what I've learned, and this is why I'm assuming you guys are watching these webinars, to take my knowledge that I've had to go through the last 7 years of getting my head kicked in, learning the right way to trade these, and then you can implement that knowledge right away instead of having to watch 4.2 million of these things, right? So the best way that I've determined to trade where you don't get algoed out, and algos are 90% of the trade nowadays, right? So for me to be wrong on this trade, I am forcing this market to come back the full ATR to get through the volume event and push outside of an ATR. And then I say, Uncle, you win next trade, right? I do not put my stop here. This thing starts ripping in my favor. I don't move my stop to break even like 99% of traders do. That's why 99% of traders don't make it in the business because they're ridiculous. I want to break even, imposing your will on the market. don't just stop because it's your break-even point. Market doesn't care about your break-even point. So that's how I trade it. So this is all built in with my sizing based on this zone drawing tool, right? You plug in your capital and then you put on whatever it says and you let the trade work. I do not, the only way I'm going to trail the stop now is either I get stopped out, or if a new event comes in and turns bearish, then I'll get out. Other than that, I'm not getting out. I'll get out as it hits important areas, as it moves in my favor. But as far as stops, it's either down here or based on a new event. You can see how it's struggling on this prior event. It's not surprising at all. That's why I didn't want to enter in this event. That's why I put it up there. It still ticked me, but it's fine. I'm almost okay getting stopped out of this because I just want these markets to get smoked. So I'm okay if I lose on this trade. And you can see they're hammering these stocks. I'm sure this hero is getting killed too. Let's take a look. All right, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. I just want to see what's going on here. This telegram needs to stop firing off. So this is hero. We'll get into this too. This is the options activity. Very important because the futures dealers or options dealers have to hedge their positions with futures. And they're a big player in the market, so it would behoove you to understand what's going on in this. So S&P is kind of near, or not, S&P 500 complex is near 500, or the SPX, or it's near lows, I should say. Mag 7 is near lows. So that thing moves just like a market, though. Just because it's on lows doesn't mean you just sell it, right? It goes back and forth. It's just options activity, them hedging with futures, right? So, but there's going to be times where you'll see divergences, right? This thing will be like getting killed, and the futures market is just spinning and spinning and spinning. Well, that's telling you, yes, the options dealers are selling futures, but somebody's absorbing them. So when this thing does turn up, the thing rips off the page, right? So it's very important to watch what's going on here. But it doesn't mean just because it's on lows, you sell the thing, right? Because it moves just like a market does. Just because a market, you see sell bubbles, you don't just jump in on a sell. That's like, it's the equivalent of what I'm trying to get at. All right, so we're long NASDAQ, unfortunately. But, again, when I say unfortunately, it's because I just have a internal bias of short bias, right? But I follow my rules. It's a long setup. I took the trade. All right, let's see what's going on here in crude, because this is such an important area. We'll get into this here. I'm going to make these. So you see this big sell ice here. You had 358 or 328 or 350, sorry, 240. So you have close to 600 sell ice, which is a ton. Threshold, meaning relevant volume in crude, is 150. So this is 4 times as much that I would deem a tradable area, right? So it's very important what happens here. So you can see I still don't know what this is. This is not validated to the upside, hasn't validated to the downside. This is such an important area for what happens here in crude. So you can see this market broke down out of this balance area. So balance is just two-sided trade, aka traders place and bet. When someone's wrong, they have to puke them out, right? Very basic. Guys, I'm telling you, the simpler you can make your stuff, the better you're going to do. It's just common sense. Place and bets, place and bets. Who's wrong? Longs, puke them out. And usually, and this one did it exactly. Talked about this in my room over these days when this broke down. The rule of thumb when markets break out of balance, the width of the balance is usually the size of the move eventually. And that's almost exact to the tick. I think we said this was 400 ticks or $4. It moved exactly $4 and then recovered. So anyway, such an important area in what happens here, right? This broke down. Then you built balance over a couple days, broke out of that balance. Built balance over a couple days, broke out of that balance. And now we're at the whopper. We're at the high volume node. High volume node is just the area of a balance area that the most trade occurred right in the middle of it. It's just an area. It's not an exact price, right? Well, you can see what's happening here. It's stalling. It tried to get through yesterday, come in, now it's building balance. The break of this balance area is very likely going to lead to a huge move, right? If it continues, it's going to be a massive failed breakdown of that. Should rip off, literally off the page. If this holds, then it's probably coming all the way back. All right, so this is just a thesis. I don't know what's going to happen. I come up with my best guess. What does that mean? Not a ton. All it means is if, say this breaks down, if I start getting short setups, I will trade double-sized shorts. Say this breaks up, then I get bullish setups. I'll trade double size longs. That's it. I don't just say, you know, okay, if this breaks, I'm no matter what happens, I'm going to be long. No, I'm a day trader. If I get shorts, I'll still take shorts. But my point is that if I get volume events in the direction of my thesis, then I will trade double size. That's all it means, right? It's just an opinion. A thesis is an opinion on the market. I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. If someone's telling you they know what's going to happen, you better run the other way because they don't. I got to take a break here. Nick L., do you recommend a beginner to start learning from your courses, or should one first have an intermediate understanding of Bookmap? Yeah, I mean, you want to understand Bookmap, but you get, guys, if you go to the actual Bookmap site, there's so much education on there that, you know, Bruce was showing us the other day. He does webinars earlier in the week where he's showing the basics. And I don't know where all this stuff is on here. I believe it's in the educate. Let's see. Here, right here, education. Getting started. It literally goes through setting up Bookmap. Yeah, you want to know what you're doing with Bookmap, so you can understand, you know, how to adjust things. But my course goes through. Where's it at? I lost that page. Hold on. Right here. So when you get the course, it goes through basically the setups of this stuff, right? So you adding Bookmap add-ons and data feed, downloading the newest add-on versions, Bookmap settings, product thresholds, adjusting thresholds, subchart settings, on-chart settings, sweeps indicator. So I go over, you know, this stuff, but yeah, you want to learn the basics of Bookmap, but it's not that difficult once you start to learn it. So as far as what I recommend, I mean, you know, I tell my room all the time, because I do this exact type of webinar twice a day, every day in my room, pretty much, right? Unless it's really dead, then we can usually cancel the PM webinars. But the point is, you can learn this stuff as I'm doing it, but you got to remember, I'm trading live, right? And people are always saying, you're talking too fast, you're blah, blah, blah. I'm trading live, guys, and I'm trading multiple products, right? So the point is, if you really want to do this the correct way, especially if you're coming to my room, you want to be versed on what's going on because it's going to be hard to follow. I don't go over the basics. I'm very basic, as basic as I can be on these Bookmap webinars, but I don't have time to go over the basics and everything because I'm trading live, right? So point is, if you want to fast track your learning, get the course, learn this stuff, learn the setups, and then you're ready. You hit the ground running when you get in the room and or you're on your own. You're not like scrambling to figure out what the hell's going on. So you can learn on the fly. It's just going to be a lot harder. All right, so this is, I didn't see what area this is. This volume event, I believe it's in the Z zone. Yeah, so this sell ice is about to become a broken ice setup, right? Means somebody came in, put in huge sell orders, hidden orders. That's what icebergs are. They're hidden until they're traded into, right? This is about to be a broken ice setup. Is he long? So I'm going to go long right here, actually. It's 79. It says I can put on 4. So I got the Izzy Long working there. So I should have basically already been filled, it looks like. I get this all the time. Well, if you should have been filled right here, why are you just not get here? You get a better price. Because if I does one of these like you saw NASDAQ do at the time, remember when it just went like this, I feel like I got away with something. So if it comes back to this price, I will take an Izzy Long. That's one trading strategy. Inflection zone, Izzy trade. That's this guy here. Inflection zone trade. Take fade trades with moves into prior inflection zone. That's all this is. This is a fade trade that's moved into this zone with a volume event, something that's happening right now, right? So this is a prior area that I drew from way back here, stuff that happened. We talked about the 4 important areas of charting. It was still relevant. There was a gap up here, buying tail. It came into the zone, got my volume event, taking the long, right? I'm not going to trade double size long here, but if it keeps ripping, all right, I just filled on it. But if it rips out of here, there's a couple other trades I can take too. I could potentially take a breaking away trade. That's when you're breaking out of balance. If the relative volume is spiking, I could do that. It's not spiking, so that trade's off the table. But anyway, any volume events I start getting going this way, I'm going to take double size based on what we just talked about with the thesis. This one, not quite, because it's still right here. But I'm long, right? So I took that Izzy long. So I filled here. It was actually a couple ticks lower. This moved a little bit because this adjusts with the ATR. And my stop goes all the way down here. Once again, I force for me to be wrong on this trade, and this is one of the biggest algo whipsaw torture markets that there is. I don't let it come back and panic out. I don't let it come back and panic out. Don't let it come back and panic out. It's got to come all the way back, the ATR. It's got to get through the zone, and it's got to push outside of an ATR. Then I say you win on to the next trade. That's it. Very simple, and I do the same thing every single time. So let me put my stop in there. That is 78.30. I'm going to put on another account too. I got some of these Apex that I'm firing on. What's this one? Is this dead? I've blown some out too the last couple days. Put on 40 on this one. We'll go over Apex here in a little bit. Highly, highly recommended if you guys are working on trading. Or, even if you're working on what I'm doing in here, don't be risking your own money till you know what you're doing. All right, I'm long that. This may be something else too. Let me see if this is a pick trade. Hopefully I didn't buy into the red lug. No, new lugs. This is a pick trade too. So you can see here this market profile composite from the past. This is moving in here right now. Right, I'm fully filled on that long. I just put another account on because I want to fire on this trade because I think it's going to rip off the page, but we'll see. So the volume event's basically right here, right? This is still. So this has traded up and through here, right? They still remain relevant if you keep seeing these areas hold. So you can see this did still hold over here this day. So I still like this market profile composite. I'll take a pick trade here as well. Let me put that on. 1 second. Let's go. All right, I chase those up a little bit. So I'm long pick. I'm long Izzy. And my stop goes down here. It's changed a little bit. Once I get the fill though, I don't change my stop because it may contract with the ATR. Whatever it is when I put on the trade, that's where I keep it. I've learned the hard way of moving that thing too. All right, so that is put that at 30. All right, so long crude. This starts ripping. Well, there's a couple other things I can do here too, right? Not right now, but first of all, algo guy is bullish. This is my filter for barks and licks. Different strategies, right? It's bullish. It's just pulled. Right, so now I'm already long 2 aggressive entries, meaning I don't wait for retest because this they're powerful areas and it may not retest. It may just do this, the pick and the Izzy. If it does this, then I'm going to put on bark and I'm going to put on lick. I'm sure there's more lick up here too. It's up here. This is the main one. This has been in here for the long. You always want your liquidity to be the longer term liquidity. The stuff, this fleeting liquidity they're putting in and out, that's just algos like this guy right here. There's literally just 1 or 2 major players in here that run the show with these games. Anyway, this is not the liquidity I'm talking about. This is games. I'm talking about stuff that's just sitting in here forever. I mean, this has been in here. They just put that in. So I'm talking about that one. And I wouldn't get out at this one, right? Because I just got it. I would just get in right at this price if it does ATR retest. But I'm talking like this one here. If I do end up putting out a lick trade, meaning ATR retest confirm, this is my ultimate target for that particular strategy. Right? The longer it's been in here, the more important it is because they're willing to. It's like say OPEC comes out and says we're cutting production. The thing's going to rip right through it, right? Well, they're willing to get filled. That's how you know that it's not. They want to be sellers, like they think the market's going to be. They want the market to go down per se. It's a magnet. So the longer it's been in here, the more of a magnet it is. That's how you have to view it. And again, it's counterintuitive. You would think you pull up your chart and you're like, oh man, look at all these sellers in here. I want to be short. It's the exact opposite. These sellers, I mean, after they fill, then it may do that, but until it fills, this thing's very, very, it's almost 100% going to get to this one, and I put it about 80% is going to get to that one today, right? Doesn't mean right now. It could drop 200 ticks before it gets back up here, but the point is, these are great targets for your trades. All right, I gotta take one breath here. All right, what's going on here? And Mr. Russell, did we retest retest this zone. Got something, soybeans. Did I already miss a trade? No. So this is a bearish setup now, right? Volume event, bunch of sell ice. Touch the ATR line. Has not retested. If a retest confirmed, then I can put on Barks and Licks and Russell. I am long, unfortunately, NASDAQ. It did get a little higher. At least I wasn't filled with a tick now. But that's fine. See, I'm not saying, oh my gosh, this is running against me, I'm out. If it gets down here, then I'm out. Other than that, I don't let them algo me. So, like, for instance, this is a perfect example today. Like, my room was complaining about it, and I don't blame them. It doesn't mean I enjoy watching the torture, but I understand that I am probably in for a ride on most of these trades, especially in products like gold and crude and NASDAQ, right? I got short aggressively here. I had to go through this, and then think I got it. It comes all the way back. You see what it keeps respecting? These things are kind of important. You might want to know where they're at. Point is, I don't have a nice profit like I did. I got out in certain areas, but I got out my whole trade when it starts to turn back up. I'm saying, okay, fine, turn it up. If you can push it through here and push an ATR out, then you win. Other than that, I'm holding the puppy. And there you go. Huge trade, right? Don't get algoed. So an exact word from my trade room, I'll even let you read it. Today he goes, because these are the guys that were in the trade with me, or took it, which they should, because they're learning correctly. Where was it? Back over here. I just thought it was pretty funny because it's the definition of what we're doing. Where's it at? No, I can't find it. They're right here. Scott Pulcini gets GC Holder Award. You probably will make it to VWAP, blah, blah. And I said, most trades are holders. Just follow your rules. Most trades are holders, meaning what I guess that's the new stock term because you don't get, or diamond hands or whatever the hell they call it. You don't get shaken out. Don't get shaken out on algos. Force these markets to get through and push outside an ATR is the best way to trade them that I've seen. You may come up with a better way. Let me know. My ears are open, but until you watch about 4 million of them, I'm pretty sure the way we're trading them is the best way to trade them. Again, I'm never, nor will I never think I know everything, right? I'm always open to different interpretations. If you find something better, I'm all ears, right? But until then, until you can find me a better way of trading these things, I am trading them. You're seeing my rules, right? All right, so waiting for a retest here. I'll go short Russell on retest failure. There's been nothing in ES today. I'm long crude. I'm long NASDAQ. Just nothing's happening right now, so you just got to sit through the trade. Let's see what happened in... all I do is preach instead of watching. So, for instance, if you're trading ES, there's nothing happening in here. You're getting whipsawed to death. Nothing going on. Stop staring at crappy markets like ES that are crappy most of the time when nothing's going on. With this information, with the zone drawing tool especially, you can have all these different markets and then just pay attention when you get the volume events, right? So it's all the same. It's the same patterns in all of these futures markets just because it's common sense. It is concentrated volume areas that we're taking advantage of, right? Sellers came in here. This is soybeans. Buy ice came in. Actually, I think it's invalidated. But the point is, this area is important. There's traders loaded up. Somebody's going to be right. Somebody's going to be wrong, just like we showed with the balance areas, right? It's the same concept. It's just shorter term, but it's still very important. Just like this. There were buyers and sellers in here. Somebody's going to be right. Somebody's going to be wrong. When the buyers were wrong here, puke them out. That's all we're doing with these volume events. They're like mini balance areas, right? They're concentrated volume. Paper's right more often than they're wrong, but they're not right every time. We have a setup for that. It's called broken ice. The point is, when the market moves away from these areas, you're very likely to get big moves. And the other thing, the other trade, as you can see on these dotted lines and these dashed dotted lines, we have reversion trades because the propensity for these markets to come back to these zones is silliness, right? Like, so if you're a scalper at heart, and most traders are because they hate sitting through the nonsense, we have a trade for that. It's called the reversion trade. I actually have this. We finally got this running at a trading firm where it's automated, and it is absolutely killing it. Right? It's a very labor intensive trade. That's why I don't take them on the webinars, because you've got to, you got the 1 ATR, the 2 ATR, the 3 ATRs, because you never know what is the ATR where this thing will come back. I've always said since day one, the odds, percentages of this coming back to the zone are at least 70%. I think it's probably 80%. You just don't know how far will it go before it comes back, right? So we have trades that are firing off automatically with this trading firm, and I'll show you this too. Let's see. Let me find this first. So I'm very excited about it because I don't have to do anything. It's automated, right? I don't ask me, oh, is it going to be, can we get that, can we get the algo? No, it's at a trading firm, but you can trade the algo yourself, right? I'm telling you, I'm showing you what to do. So this is actually a statement, and believe it or not, so this is after literally running for like 4 days, right? The balance started at 0. I don't, trading firm, I'm sure doesn't want me showing their information, but the start at 0. So 4 days into it, it was already up $6,500 trading 1 lot. As of last night, it was up $11,000 trading 1 lot. That is even better than I thought it would do, right? So it's killing it. So the point is, you have options. You can trade reversion trades, or you can trade position trades, right? So that's what it's showing on this spreadsheet, right? You can trade either one. I mean, on this with the zone drawing tool. So the zone drawing tool, all it is this spreadsheet, right? So the top part of the spreadsheet, and this is what you get as part of my trade room, or you can get a subscription to it. I'll get into that in a second. This is for these trading strategies that we've been talking about all day, looking for bigger moves. The bottom part of it is the reversion strategy. That's what's running the algo that's killing it. Just taking ATR, 1 ATR, 2 ATR, 3 ATR. There's another layer to that as far as what it's doing for the trading firm. We're looking for A+ reversions. I'm not going to really get into that in the webinar. You come in my room, I'll explain it. But it's trading off of the A+ reversion trades. I was going to tell you something else too. I just lost my train of thought. Hold on, I just want to make sure this did. Yeah, so there's nothing for me to do off of this event because it touched the ATR below here. This ATR, I believe, is correct. And then it touched the ATR above. So it's basically just chopped around. I'm not trading anything off of this zone. But if I get a new event, I will trade it. Well, speaking of reversion trades, of course, they always happen when I have a position on. So I can get tortured, max torture. But here you go. It's over and over and over and over and over. And say over about 5,000 more times. ATR, stop for the 1 ATR is this dash dot, back to the zone, you're out. That's the trade. It is unbelievable how many times that happens in a day across all markets. So this algo is fired that we got running. It's fired off basically every market. And when I first saw what they're running it on, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want it to run on all those markets, because some of I don't watch that closely. It's working on every one of them: soy meal, soy oil, copper, silver, gold. It's craziness. So that's the trade that's running off. You can trade that, or you can trade position trades, or you can trade both. So that leads me to this segue. If you're going to come in here and try these strategies, highly recommend Apex. Right, this is the one that I put my name behind. I've been using for 2 years. I just posted on my Twitter. You can see here, if you want to go watch the video on it too. I did a webinar with them 2 years ago. It's a 2-year anniversary, just passed it. Why is this not? Oh, hold on. Right here. That's Dr. Brett, by the way. This is the guy who wrote the book, put me in his book. It's on my home page if you want to go check that out. So I put on, it's right, where's it at here? I think I pinned it, didn't I? Yeah, right here. Just past the 2-year anniversary of the webinar, I'm still using Apex Trade Fund for my trade room trading strategy and various personal accounts. Many traders are trying to trade their own money that some can't afford to lose, which leads to stress, mistakes, blown accounts. If you are struggling, working on new strategies, etc., this is the best option I know and use myself. This is the video made 2 years ago. Everything is exactly the same. They have done everything for me that and any other trader that they say they're going to do. You get your accounts when you go live. You get your practice accounts, or not practice, they call it a qualifying account. That's this here. Let's just cover this real quick, right? Because I always get questions on this. So go to, actually the best way to do this, and I'll even show you Dr. Brett's book. So remember guys, I know a lot of you already know all this, but there's always new traders on these webinars. So go to my web page. That's in this document too. Right? It's one of these links here, and then go down to here. So any sale they have, Pulcini 50. So that's my affiliate code. That could be, if you get these, use this code. That obviously I get affiliate payment for that. It's tiny, but it helps, right? And that could be your payment for me for teaching you this stuff, right? Since I'm doing these things for free for you guys, right? So anyway, click on that. And the ones I was doing, they just had a huge sale for these 250s, but most of these were the 150s. Now this thing's going to do the annoying scroll here, right? So with this just means you get one of these. It costs, once you put in the code, right now it's 71% off. So it's whatever 71% of 297 is, right? And then the goal is you got to make $9 grand before you lose 5. The catch with this, not a catch, but you got to really pay attention. You can say you get up like 8 grand, right? That's not a very good 8 grand, right? You're 1,000 away from qualifying. We'll say you have a drawdown, which you're going to do at some point, right? I mean, you could hit it right away, but if you draw down back $5,000, you're out of the account. Right, you're still profitable $3,000, but you're out of the account. I've done this about 5,000 times too, right? So you gotta really control your risk so you don't pull back the $5,000. But this is a great way. There's a couple different things you can do here too, because this is a great way to practice. Say you come in my room, practice, not a game, practice. Say you come in my room and you want to learn what I'm doing. You come in here and you get some of these and practice, not a game, practice. Don't risk your own money till you know what you're doing. The other thing that these are good for, actually I take that back because you can't do opposing trades, because some of these times you'll have like a position trade on and then you'll want to put a reversion trade. Just be careful. You can't have opposing orders on. But if you want to, say you want to work on the reversion trades, open up one of these and just trade reversion trades on it. So highly recommended. You're always getting these things out there. Oh, they're a scam, blah, blah, they're a Ponzi scheme. Guys, I put my name behind them. They're legit. They pay. If people weren't paying, I show you guys that we had some clown in here the other day, a couple weeks ago saying it's a joke, blah, blah, blah. This is their Discord. If people are not getting paid, you're going to see about 5,000, or they've got probably 50,000 traders now, right? You're going to see people be like, they're not paying. I'm not talking the one-off where they don't get, like, they qualify and they make their money and they're not paid in like 24 hours and they're losing their minds. I'm talking about overall, like if the company's going under, you're going to know it in 2 seconds. So, there are a dime a dozen out there. I understand. That's the one I use and put my name behind. So that's a quick segue to that. What did I just fill here? Oh, I just stopped out of the rest of my gold, right? So these are my rules. I rolled this thing down. I got some down. I got some on the way down. I got most here. I had some left. New event, stopped out of the trade, on to the next trade. That's that. Crude is still just being crude. Remember, I don't stop out here. It's in my face, but if I'm going to stop out, it's going to get all the way down here, and then I say congratulations, on to the next trade. NASDAQ, I'm still long. Once again, just getting algo, guys. This is what you're going to go through because algos are 90% of the trade. When nothing's going on, that's when they turn on their little engines and run you guys to death, run you ragged, where you start making stupid decisions because this thing's doing that. If I'm going to be wrong on this trade, it needs to hit down here, then I'm out of the trade, on to the next one. The key is, and now we'll go into the trading in the zone rant. Where's that at? Trading in the zone document. Hold on. It's very basic, but I go over it every single day, every webinar that I do, straight out of trading in the zone, right? I've put my stuff in here, I've added it, but the main thing you need to understand are the 5 truths. Anything can happen. You don't need to know, and I put this in, or do you know what's going to happen next in order to make money? This is the most important part. When I'm saying on to the next one, okay, you went on to the next one. There is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. This is the best edge. By the way, there's your reversion trade in NQ. The algo must be killing it today, right here. This is the best edge I've ever seen, right? Ever. So I've been trading for 25 years. I used to be a whopper, huge 3,000 lot trader in the E-mini S&P. So all these strategies are based off of how I used to react as a big trader, right? So this is the best edge you've ever seen. My point is, most traders don't really know if they have an edge, right? They see something work for a week and then they try it, and then it works for 2 weeks and then it stops, and then they panic and they're on to the next trade. You can rest assured, my opinion, obviously, but I've been using it for 7 years. This is the best edge I've ever seen in futures trading, right? So the point is, once you start to implement this, you don't have to question the edge. And then all you got to question is yourself and not make stupid mistakes. Meaning, you get in the trade, you follow your rules. You don't have to be like, oh my God, does this work? I don't know if I should keep taking. I've lost 4 in a row. I don't know if these work anymore. You don't have to worry about that, in my opinion, right? Again, all you have to worry about now is not being a clown and honking your nose and doing something stupid when this thing is like doing what it's doing right here. Does this feel good? No, it doesn't feel good. But if you understand what these markets do, you see this Christmas tree, that's algos screwing with you, right? It doesn't mean it can't do this, but I don't let unimportant areas affect what I'm doing. So my point is, if you have an edge, which you do, then you have to realize there is a random distribution between wins and losses, and you just keep putting the trade on. Yes, you respect your loss rules for the day. You're going to have days where you hit your drawdown, your max drawdown. We said, I just got done saying 6% if you're trading your own money. You just close up shop and say, I'll see you tomorrow. Because some days, these are markets. Some days it's just crazy trade. That leads me to my next rant, right? You hit your drawdown, you need to stop. Well, the other thing, so the two biggest pet peeves, the most stupid, ridiculous stuff I've ever heard in my life are, I'm going to move my stop to break even, right? Even educators out there, I'm using air quotes, say, yeah, okay, now I'm going to move to break even. That makes no sense. Unless the break even is something that's worthwhile that's happened in the market, that makes no sense. And then I hear all the time, all right, well, I hit my $5,000 or whatever you have for your profit goal, which you shouldn't have profit goals, right? In a sense, right? This is what I had at my trading firm, guys. When I walked in, when I first got there, for some reason, this was the magic number too. It was $5,000. These guys would make $5,000, close their computer, turn off their computer, and go sit in the game room for another 6 hours and play ping pong and stupid crap like that. I'd be like, all right, well, let me get this straight. So you just made $5,000. Why would you not stay and make 10, 20, 50, right? Why would you leave at your high? That doesn't make sense. So why I got to this is because a lot of days, most days, trading is very difficult. The days that you're killing it, you do not get up out of your chair. I'm not saying you make $5,000 and you give it all back. I'm saying you make $5,000, you can have a profit target where you say, okay, now I'm at my profit goal for the day. If I give back 20% or whatever percentage you decide, so basically I put on one more trade. If I lose, then I'm done. Fine, I'm okay with that. That's fine. You don't want to give back your whole day. But give yourself a chance to have the huge day. This is so stupid. I'm up $5,000, I'm done. So when I saw guys in my firm doing that, that was one of the motivators for me. Like, I'm like, okay, if these clowns can make money, I know I can make money, right? So, and then I ended up being the number one trader at the firm. So please heed that advice. Stop trailing your stop to break even, and stop stopping when you're at your highs. Give yourself at least one losing trade before you close shop, because you don't know if this day can turn into a $50,000 day. It just makes no sense. So that was actually a very mild verbal lashing. So anyway, back to this. If you have an edge, there's a random distribution. Understand you're going to have losses. Keep putting on the trade. An edge is nothing more than an indication of a higher probability over one thing happening over another. And every moment in the market is unique. So meaning, I don't care how many patterns you see, like I already know, and we just actually got something going on here in Russell. Like I know the patterns here. Does it mean it's going to work every time? No, every moment in the market is unique. What if they come out and find something gets bombed, the thing's going to fall off the page? That has nothing, this stuff is irrelevant then. You see what I'm saying? So just internalize this stuff so you're not crapping your pants when you have a couple losers if you have an edge. So that's that rant. Getting a lot of rants in today. All right, any questions, let me know. All right, so wow, I don't think I've ever seen this pattern before. It's the first time, or the 1 millionth time. ATR, retest, confirm. Did you see me panic out when it did that? No, because this is what these markets do. All right, so I'm still long this. I don't think I could put on Barks and Licks though, because the algo guy is I'm about to stop out of crude though. Hold on. Well, at least I didn't trade double size yet. Remember I said this was such an important area. I put on the long, but I wasn't willing to trade double size, and now it's really starting to show its hand, right? We break that. What did I say earlier? I said, because we were smack dab in the middle of this. I put the long on like I was supposed to, right? This is a perfect example. Trade was a loser. On to the next one. Point is, thesis-wise, now this breaks out of this after, it's stalling at that. Then I'm going to trade double-sized shorts. So I stopped out of that trade. Big deal. On to the next one. That's how you trade, guys. You're going to have losers, right? So that was a loser. But this is giving me information too, right? I take a loser, one out of about 5 million more I'll have in my career, but it's giving me information. This was borderline looking like it was going to rip off the page even right there. This should not be violating these events. Now, especially with my thesis, I already know, okay, that failed. That's weird. That shouldn't have happened based on what I was thinking was going to happen. Now I get an event. I am trading double-sized shorts till the cows come home, and we're going to have free gas here. It's going to probably break $70 today. Just kidding. But my point is, even when you lose, it gives you information a lot of times, right? So that was a loser. That's not cool. Not cool being a jive turkey so close to Thanksgiving. Movie. All right, why do I have a position on in gold? Hold on. Damn it. See, this is what happens when I'm on these webinars. I make so many mistakes. And that's one of the main reasons I started using Apex. I got sick of losing tens of thousands of dollars of my own money because I'm just not paying attention because I'm doing, showing other markets and stuff. So the Apex accounts, yeah, they're like here's a good, I'll show you these things right now. All right, very important. Crude looks like it's, if it gets inside this market profile, that's another thesis, bearish thesis too. So this is going to be fun to, I took a loss there, but I'm ready and waiting for the next one. Anyway, what was I? Oh, the Apex. So you can see here. So some of these I blew out. I just blew one out right now because I fired on it. Because I had the sale thing. But anyway, so you can see I've got 3 active right now. Just basically hovering around 0 or break even. That's these. And I got another like 5 that are close. This one's close. These are all strategies. So what have you guys heard me say for the last however long I've been doing these things, right? So a lot of these have been built up over months, right? Because I'm only risking $500 on a trade. So it takes time. Just like if you're trading your own account, it takes time, right? So these have gradually, but every one, I've said it since day one. I said that every one of these strategies, that's not the right page, hold on. Every one of these strategies will go live eventually because there is an edge inherent in every one of them. Why? Because these volume events are an edge inherently. So I know every one of these will be live. Right? So anyway, the point is I went to this stuff. I went to this Apex stuff because it allows me to trade. And even if I blow out these now, it's not like devastating. It's not like I'm losing my mortgage or my car payment, right? Or my kids' food, right? So the stress level is minimum. Granted, if you have a trading firm behind you, now we do with the reversion trade, but like it's a whole different story. And you guys know my story. So this is why I get like, I see these backhanded comments with these other educators like, anyone who's trading as a real trader, they don't trade sim, they don't trade these Apex, they trade their own money. Guys, you know my story. I was a multimillionaire, and then it stopped working, and then I did like that, and then I had to get out of the business for 6 years, right? I was in medical sales. It wasn't 6 years, it was 4 years, right? Kissing doctors' asses in their office, trying to sell them genetic testing. Then Dr. Brett introduced me to Bookmap, and I said, I'm back, and now I'm on my way back. Now I have a trading firm behind me, but the point is, even with my own money, my accounts, my live accounts that I do have a couple live accounts too that I trade, they're tiny. I can't risk, $50,000 in a day. So this is the next best thing. This is like having a trading firm behind you. So this is why I use them, and I like them to put each strategy, and then we can keep track, so on and so forth. So anyway, these 3 are live. This one's close, this one's close, this one's close, this is inching, that's inching, that's not, That one blew out. I blew out. So in these, I was just literally trading max size, and if I was wrong, because they were only $17 up until yesterday, I was willing to blow them out. So blew that one out, blew out that one. This one's close. So there you go. I highly recommend. I'm doing it. Everybody's doing it. Just kidding. But that's what I use. Everybody's doing it. All right, so Chop Fest there. Stopped out at crude. Gold did a real nice stop out and then right back. Those are always fun. Of course, I took a loss on. That's ridiculous. See, so I made a mistake. I just gave back like half my profit in gold because I forgot to cancel. I had too many on. I remember I got out of another half down here. Well, I forgot to change my stop, so I filled there and then just rolled this down. I just got out like down here. That's not cool, but whatever. It's my own mistake. Anyway, it's always fun when you get stopped out. There's the markets. I did make a decent profit. On to the next trade there. Other than that, I think we're waiting for Russell retest, and there's really not a lot going on. You guys got questions? Throw them in the room. I mean, throw them in the YouTube. Why did I lose the YouTube? So back to the I'm not a huge trader anymore, so whatever. It doesn't mean I don't have knowledge, right? That's the thing. It's like, and who cares, guys? I don't care if I showed you I was trading $1 million account or a $5,000 account or $1,000. What does it matter? What I'm trading? Are you taking part of my profits? It matters. What I'm teaching you is what matters, right? You're taking my expertise and my experience from the last 25 years. And you don't have to go through 25 years of getting your head kicked in. It doesn't matter what size account I'm trading. I mean, just because you get these clowns like, do this advertising on YouTube standing in front of a Lamborghini. Well, first of all, they're probably full of shit, pardon my language. But what does that mean? It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you're just going to plug and play and make $5 million just because they're trading $1 million account. So the point is, it's about learning what I'm doing and taking my expertise. That's it. All right. What is going on here? Here's some stuff in nat gas. So nat gas is usually a very, very nice moving market. It's been screwing me over lately to the tick. Like literally, I've been stopped out to the tick there like 5 times in a row. But that's just trading sometimes. So this is, still don't know what this first event was, or this last event, and you got some buy ice here. So let's see where we're at. So that's step 1, obviously identifying the zone. Well, let me answer this too. Add pro production. So the big players putting in liquidity, sell orders up above are then buyers down below, forcing others to buy. You don't know what they're doing. You're never going to know, guys. You're never, stop wasting your time trying to understand what other traders are doing. You are never going to know why that's in there. You don't know, are they initiating longs? Are they getting out of shorts? Are they hedging options? You don't know, and you don't need to know. You don't know, you're never going to know unless you're God Almighty or know Him. If you know Him, I'd like an introduction, right? Other than that, you just trade the area and know it's a magnet, right? Whatever they're trying to do. You don't know what these guys are doing. You don't know what these guys are doing. Stop trying to figure it out. I see this all the time too in my room. Well, if they're buying here, then they're probably going to sell. You have no idea. Stop thinking about it. Think about what's important. Following your rules. This is a volume event. It's a concentrated trade. Traders are concentrated in this area, right? That's all you need to know. And you need to know when the areas are concentrated, the move out is likely going to be a big one, and or it's coming back to that area with the reversion trade. That's all you need to know. You want to waste your time trying to figure out why a million different traders are doing what they're doing? Have fun. You're wasting your time and your brain power. Here, I'll come back to this in a second. I think there was another event here in gold. Was it gold? Yeah. So gold's in deep doo-doo as well. So I'm going to trade gold double-sized shorts now. Like this market is going, I shouldn't say is, very likely going to get killed, right? I already said this. This is why I traded double size up here. I already went over this. This is a breakout, tried to break out, built a little balance, broke down through the high volume, tried to hold it. And here it is again, building this balance. And there's not a lot here. This could be a whopper. And then if you go, this is all fractal, right? So that's that balance there. Now look at this puppy. If this thing breaks, watch out. You get through this zone here, So that would be the next place I think this is. If this breaks right now, this is probably where this is headed today, just my opinion. But if this whole whopper, where we talked about the same, the width of the balance move, so you're talking about a, what is this, $200 move? Is that right? In gold? Yeah, I mean, it's 2,000, so that's a 10% move. So if this breaks, the rule of thumb is the same width of that balance area will be the move eventually out of here, which is going to be huge, right? So keep that in mind. Well, how does that help you? It does. I mean, it's just a call. You want to buy longer term options, puts, fine. But what I'm saying is, if I start getting bearish events, I'm trading double size, especially if it breaks that guy. Then you could actually hold a piece. So you can hold one overnight or whatever, or put on options, so on and so forth. It's just a guess. It's just my opinion on what's going to happen. If this thing, say this thing came down right now, takes a straight move into this zone, even this zone. Well, I probably wouldn't take it long into that because that's breaking out of it. But say it moved into this zone, and I just got done saying it's going to probably move the width of that zone. If I get a volume event that's bullish, I'm taking the trade. I'm a day trader. If I get a bearish, then I'm going to trade double size. That's all my thesis does for me. It just helps me trade bigger in that direction. Questions on that? Let me know. So that is, speaking of which, is that an Izzy zone though? So this Izzy zone, well, so when the market's just sitting in an Izzy zone, it's not really an Izzy, you know. And I even got this today. Like someone in my trade room, they're making these harder than they are. They're like, I still struggle with the Izzy zone. Just use them as support and resistance zone. You're going to get times where it's just sitting in here. Yes, we have variations, but if that confuses you, just don't trade this zone. It's not that important anymore because it's accepting in it. I wouldn't take this one either because you're breaking down out of balance. You want to be careful of that. That's the other variation. I don't want to really get into that right now. But the point is, if this comes down to here, that's a great trade. Look for extended moves into these things with volume events. Those are the best trades out there. That and failed breakdowns and breakouts. And we have trades for those. These are the newest trading strategies that I've introduced in the room. Right? That's these guys. Failed balance breakout. Breaking bad. Breaking away. These are all aggressive entries when they break out of balance areas. So the point is, stop confusing yourself. I wouldn't even consider this an Izzy zone right now, and I'm going to even delete it so people aren't confused because it's just been trading in the zone back and forth all morning. It's done. It's dead to me. There you go. If it moves into this zone, you could, but I would not be trading. You can even make this one, it's all fractal like we just talked about, right? You do not want to be taking Izzy fades when multi-days of traders, aka longs, are placing bet. What do you think is going to happen? Very likely going to happen. This thing's going to blow right through this zone because these guys need to get the hell out of their trades. You're going to be seeing stop run, stop run, stop run. Don't take Izzies that are just below or above balance areas, right? So I would not take this Izzy. If I got a long setup, I would not take it aggressively. We do have variations where if it does that, then you can take it because you do have failed breakdowns, and breakouts all the time. But the point is, I would not take it aggressively. So do not take this Izzy zone aggressively if you get a bullish event would be my strong advice. Other than that, algo guys obviously bearish. Right, so I could take Barks and Licks to the short side, but nothing to do on the long side there. And then the last thing that I look at, important area-wise, what are we doing on market profile? So this is a pick trade. I don't love pick trades, meaning here's your volume event at the bottom of this guy, right? Well, this has just been sitting in here. This is just like trading the bottom of a balance area. Yeah, it could react. I'm talking pick trades. The best pick trades are when the market moves out, comes back, get the event, goes. The market moves out, can't hold out, gets back in, comes back, get the event, then goes. Those are the best pick trades. You could take a pick long here, right on the edge of this, but this thing keeps testing it. I'm not taking this pick trade. If it went like this, then yeah, I'm taking the pick trade short and I'm taking a double size. See what I'm saying? So guys, this stuff all comes with experience. This is more advanced stuff. You may not even want to use market profile. Fine. You may love MACD. You may love moving average cross. You may love Bollinger Bands. It's not for me to say what you deem is important. What I'm saying is learn the rules of these events and apply them at your important areas. That's it. I literally had this exact, the trading firm wanted me, shockingly, they wanted me to do a webinar for their traders yesterday because the algo is absolutely crushing it, right? So they wanted me to explain what I'm doing. I am still in disbelief that nobody in that trading firm is using Bookmap. That is just, that just shows you what an edge you have to this day using Bookmap, right? You're using something that most traders don't have. You have information that most traders don't have. That is the biggest edge you can ever have, right? So anyway, I'm sure they'll be using it now, but it is made, and even I told them, the guy even showed at the beginning of the webinar some of the P&Ls for some of the traders. A couple guys were up like 40, 50 grand last week. I guarantee if they were using this stuff and they understood how to the principles behind these, that would be four or 500,000 versus 40 or 50,000 would be my guess. Because the confidence that you have when you see your area, you already know it's an important area. Then you see the volume event, agree with it. That's the whole ball of wax, in my opinion. All right, I've been doing a lot of talking. We got about 7 minutes left. Throw in your questions to see what's going on in natural gas. So this entire webinar, I have been tortured in NQ. It's just being algoed. Is all it's being. I got long over here, and I'm just sitting in this torture. Unless I can get there, I'm in the trade. Until you can get to that point of your career, you're not going to make it. Like you're gonna keep making stupid mistake after stupid mistake. All right, so this was buy ice here. Let's see if this was a Izzy zone. It should already been. We got something in soybeans too. So this was an Izzy trade, right? Perfect example. This is a great Izzy trade. I mean, as far as, I'm not saying it's gonna be a winner. I'm just saying this was a pretty elongated move into this zone that was something from way back here that the market kept respecting, right? Volume event, taking a long. So I should be long right now. 29.42, I can put on a whopping one guy based on the risk. They do have a micro NG now. I just don't have that. Apex doesn't have it for some ridiculous reason. I don't understand that, but they don't. So I got to trade one guy. I don't have a strong opinion thesis wise, so I'm not going to trade double size, but I'm going to go long at 41, basically right here. And that was the wrong account, of course. More mistakes. I want to get in this one. This on a personal account too. Hold on. Not personal, but another account. Where is it at? So I had a mistake the other day. I was getting on some of these accounts on my phone, and I actually did a TraderVate. So this is the same thing, but it's on, instead of trading on Rhythmic, I'm trading on TraderVate. So you see this one's almost qualified too, right? So this is on TraderVate. You didn't see it on the Apex stuff. So I'm gonna buy it on this too. And there it is. It's NG. I can buy more too. So I'm going to trade, instead of one, I'll trade, well, I'm not going to trade 10, I'll trade 5. Because this one's almost qualified. I need $4,000 more for qualify. So I'll go like, crap. See, I'm not used to this front end. Order filled. I'll get back out of that. So I'm going to put it in at that 41. So I need to right click that. So if that comes up, I'll stop into the long there. So I actually did TraderVate. It's actually not a bad platform, right? Like you can kind of like it. Other than that, I got these the rhythmic going too. This is the top. I did one with Top Step too, just because I want to see other firms to see how they handle stuff. All right, so if that comes back, I'll go long. I already got one long on. I'll put in long on that other account. And that's the Izzy long. Let's see if there's anything else here. Again, guys, you got to know all this stuff before it's fired off. Like, you got to know your area so you're not scrambling like I'm doing right now, right? Nothing on market profile composite. I'm assuming there's new lugs here. Oh, we didn't even get it. Let's cover the rest of the stuff in this trading, this sheet I sent you. See if we get some new lugs. How are there no new lugs here? Technically, you could take a slug here, buy ice at the lug, but I don't like that view. But if it gets back above, so this is actually, if you watch that video of her and I, it's go to my YouTube channel. It's on there. Just Google Scalpel Pulcini YouTube. She talks about this very scenario, right? Pamela Ludwig. This is where she's derived these Ludwig levels. The second most powerful thing I've ever seen in my trading career. When the market like breaks and it doesn't have the condition to form new lugs and it gets above, that usually signals that. So it's just a thesis. But that's all right. So I'm in that other account too. So that's something to pay attention to. So quickly, let's just go over this stuff. We already talked about the. All right, so that's just stopping into that long and natural gas I just put in. Drawing tool. If you want to watch the video, the YouTube videos and how it works, it's right there. Here's my course. Went over that. You can get it here. You can get it on the Bookmap Marketplace as well. Here's the spreadsheet. So if you get this stuff for free in my room if you come to my room. Otherwise, if you can't get in the trade room, you can get the spreadsheet, which is the same as the zone drawer. But you want the spreadsheet too, because when the zone drawer, the ATR is off, you gotta plug in the values manually. And then here's the inflection zone charts, the IZZI zones that we've been talking about the whole webinar. So if you want to get those, you can't get the room. Again, the room members, you get it for free. And then website, email. Here's the trade room. It's still on the website. So these are the different options of the trade room. You can do monthly, quarterly, yearly, and then you get discounts off the courses and mentoring. And then this is the stuff I use, right? Doesn't mean you have to get all this if you come in the room. You definitely want Bookmap and the MBO for the Stop Icebergs, or you can still learn. I mean, I go over basic stuff, but this is the driver of my training. So you want Bookmap. This is all affiliate stuff, but you get discounts, right? So if this is for the Global Plus, you get an awesome discount on that. And you want the Global Plus because it shows you sweeps and so on and so forth. That's my opinion. Do whatever you want. Here's the MBO bundle. You need this to get the SI information. Why is this not found? Well, why? Hold on. Let me just get this right for you guys. So it's not. I don't understand why that link's not working. They might have changed it, obviously. Hold on. Right here. It's that. Let me put this in here. Where's that at? I don't know why that's not working. It's the same. Looks like the same link. All right. So that's that. Certainly. So that you need those two if you want to do what I'm doing and see the most important thing in futures trading as far as I'm concerned. More important edge. Here's the Apex. We talked about that. Pulcini 50 gets you any discount, whether it's 71% like it is now or 90%. Whatever you use, Pulcini 50 will work. Or whatever they have going, Pulcini 50 will work. And just make sure, because they make it kind of confusing, right? You go in here, right? So you go to that here, and then you go say I want to get it, right? I don't know why they did this, but because you're just so used to checking the stuff really quick. So you come in here you put in Pulcini 50. First of all, it used to autosave. It doesn't autosave anymore, so you got to type it in every time. Don't click this, because then you don't use the coupon code. I don't know why. That's just so weird that they have that, but I'm sure they have the reasons. And then you click all these, just, I agree, but make sure you don't click that, or you're not going to get the discount for that things. That's that. And then Spot Gamma, we talked about this a little bit. You can get, you use code Scott. You go, you can get the entire thing, the hero, his commentary. Try to go over every morning. Very, very important. You're just getting his thesis on the market, right? So when my thesis matches his thesis, then it's go time. Then I trade bigger. That's all I do, right? But it's awesome. It gives you the levels where the highest concentration of volume, and then you get the hero. You get all that for 2 weeks. So at least go try the thing. Use Scott. Tick strike. That's this annoying thing in the background. Very important. I've used it for close to 14 years. It's annoying, but it's very important to hear, right? It's really, really annoying when you have positions going against you. It's great when they're going for you, right? Like I love hearing it when I'm long NASDAQ, like I am, right? But when it's going against you, it feels like a torture treatment, touching all your senses. But that's what I use. We haven't got into Market Pulse today. That's Bookmap's version of Tick Strike, which is like Tick Strike on steroids times 100. It's incredible. We'll talk about it more next week. I just don't have time right now. And then Trader Sync. This is Track Your Trades. This is they got a bunch of these out. This is the best one I've seen. A lot of people in my trade room, you're going to find out real quick where your best products are, the best times of days that you need to be trading, so on and so forth. Very important for your trading. Here's the Ludwig levels. Second most powerful thing I've ever seen in my life. Go to our 1976 website. Put in, if you want the 3-day trial, put in your name. Say you saw it on the Bookmap webinar. She's got special pricing for that. This is all stuff I use, right? You can use them. You cannot. And then here's the reviews. There's one jackass in here that was mad because I told him he was an idiot because he couldn't figure out how to unsubscribe. Other than that, the reviews are very good, except for this one Jack Meat. Can't find his name here, but you can see him. I don't even see him on here. But he's the one who gave me the 1 star because he's a jackass. All right, guys, that's it. I do this every day in my trade room. Best edge I've ever seen. So, like I told you guys, and we're long natural gas, by the way. So, rip off the page. That's it. Thanks for coming by, and I will see you guys next Thursday.